which one of these teams is going to go out. Someone who normally goes through to the second day was going to have to lose, and this time it was BDS.
Well, they're up 1-0 here, back on the red side. Sofchen, as we get into draft here, nothing too wild or out of the ordinary. Again, I'll pose kind of a similar question to you, not for BDS, but for the French Bees. Right? What would you like to see? Because we called them a triple threat composition on the other side, and Vicky, obviously, she stood out in the loss, but there are ways to get her rolling or get other sides of the map rolling.
You know what? I just had a glance here in my mind. My coaching mind. The idea is the following. You get a composition that can actually mitigate more damage. So you get something that can heal, you get something that can shield, so you can maintain the fight for longer time. Because I feel like BDS is going to go for more explosive. They have been doing that. They have been going in for bruises, go in, deal so much damage. They had the Akali, and then when they didn't have enough damage to finish it off, we saw Vicky just being a highlight. So it could be a good play to go for something along those lines. I don't know if any of them would... Okay, never mind. But anyway, I was going to say if any of them would play Ivan, it could be a good choice in the jungle. Are we having a run it back? Is this correct?
I was about to say, I mean, I don't think this is a glitch. I think we might be having a bit of a salty run back. Nope. Okay, we have the Nautilus instead of the Leona. We could do a Renata here. Okay, that's a champion I haven't seen in.
I like you.
In a little bit. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what AD carry that gets paired up with. And indeed, all right, we move on to ban phase number 2. J-Real, you had like the whole gambit of facial expressions run across your mouth there.
I don't like this at all. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not a fan of the run it back. I think that the things I would have wanted from VFB, if you were to be like, oh, well, what are you thinking about? Put Chubby Daddy on something aggressive, right? Allow them to have a fair fight against C. Don't just put them on a tank that's going to be left alone for the whole game, or put them on a tank and take yourself a carry jungler that will gank them and get leads ahead, because we know C is a problem. We know that they are going to one that is going to push the lead if they are allowed to have it. So I feel like that could have been a good play. The Kayn, again, I talked about how I didn't love the kind of later scaling of it. I'm hoping they go for some more early game. Okay, so this is going to amend it a little bit for me. The Renekton being picked up here, I would enjoy a bit more, but we know that C plays Renekton. We know that C knows how to play against Renekton. I think it's going to be a tough time in general. Misfortune, Seraphine, maybe this is actually a little bit more okay than I thought at the start. I just didn't love the salty run back.
Well, Sofchen, you did get your healing and shielding for Vicky, unless... No, well, it is going to be Vicky doing the healing and shielding, it seems, actually.
Yeah. Let me sit on it. I am, let me get comfy here in my chair real quick. When I see Seraphine like APC, I usually see something a little different from the Syndra. Like, for example, the Orianna herself that has been banned by Vitality French Bees. Maybe when I see the Seraphine, I could see her in the mid lane while you have another APC in the bot lane, like a Swain or something along those lines. Man, I don't know how I feel about this. What is a Seraphine with a Nautilus going to do in the bot lane? I don't... I'm not sure I dig this.
There's potential. There is potential with it, right? I'm not fully against the Seraphine Nautilus, but do I think there could have been other avenues? Maybe. I feel like they're kind of playing the slow game, right? They're kind of playing for the setup for the Kayn in my mind. They're kind of giving space for this to come online, for this to be a problem, because I do think that Ali was able to start causing issues in the game. The Renekton will give a little bit more viability of the top side of the map as well. But the big question I have now is, it's going to be a game of a few kind of moments, and I feel like top lane is one where it's going to be won very early. It's the Pantheon versus Renekton. Can you name a more early game matchup? I don't think so. And Jarvan is the jungler versus the Kayn. So I feel like it's same story, but this time it's going to be the top side.
Yeah, going to be very, very explosive there up on the top side, and you'd like to think that whoever is able to manifest themselves a lead with the help of their jungler is going to get themselves very much ahead in this one. Late game pop-off potential in both mid lane slots, but then very different styles as far as the supports are concerned. Sofchen, what do you like it so far? You've had a little bit to sit on it, to think about it. It's very volatile in the top lane, so I feel like, at the risk of giving you the answer, giving you a question, and then saying, well, it'll depend how the top lane goes. I ask you, where do you give the edge so far as these two drafts are concerned, and what you've seen in game one?
Oh man, I really like BDS Valkyries draft on this one. I think it's very traditional. Like, there was once upon a time where assassins in the mid lane were like a huge thing. So it's traditional. You have something that deals quite a lot of damage, but it's early game in the top and in the jungle. Then you have Misfortune, just AoE, supposed to melt down and chip damage through time in a fight. And then the Renata is a little bit, she's an enabler, but she's also got some crowd control. I really like it. It's very stable. You can protect, you have a front line, not as big, of course, as Vitality French Bees, because you have the Nautilus, you have the Renekton, but I just fear Vitality French Bees might not have the leeway to get into the backline again. And it's unfortunate because if we talk about just the top lane alone that you two were mentioning, with the Renekton and the Pantheon, and with the Kayn and the Jarvan, the upper hand goes to the Jarvan duo again, because the Kayn is the same duo. The Kayn is not going to do as good as you saw from the Jarvan. So since they already did so well, I will give them the upper hand.
I mean, if nothing else, I like the Wombo combo. Like you said, Sofjan, the Misfortune is going to have a pretty free time. There are just a lot, like, with Akali causing havoc in the back line, Jarvan goes in, Pantheon over the top, right, or vice versa. And then if you get I cannot remember the Renata ultimate's name right now, but that's okay.
Hostile takeover.
Thank you very much.
Hostile takeover. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can really cause some havoc. So there's a lot of ultimate layerings and Wombo combo potential here. J-Ro, we got a little bit here before we throw it to a little bit of content and the game as well. This to me reads like I forget exactly who it was. I think it was N and OO's game 1 composition, where you've got a lot of just kind of point and click, easy engage, and it's really, really free for your carry. So if they're going to be the ones starting fights, I do like BDS's comp as well.
Yeah, I think BDS have doubled down on the Kayn pick, right? They basically said, you're going to pick Kayn, you're going to have to wait a little bit before you can really be enabled in the game, and we're just going to pick things that will win and basically just keep winning. And I will say, there is a little bit of a double-edged sword with the BDS comp. If they do not win early, they are in trouble.
Yeah, the Pantheon is going to be a little bit more of a traffic cone. The Renata is really not going to do much, and your Akali has the ability to get one shot. So, we are going to our final game of the day. Vitality French Bees, again, down 0-1, trying to get a point back in this series against BDS Valkyries. Both these teams knocked out as far as tomorrow is concerned. But for now, a little bit of content for you, and then we head to our last game of the day with J-Real and Sofjan taking us home.
We're just aiming for the top one.
We trained for it, we are ready for it, and I really think we can win this one.
I don't think we have to be scared. As long as we're playing correctly, there is nothing that can really bother us.
If we stick to the plan, we win for sure.
I just think we have tools to beat everyone. It was me last time who said be scared.
I really think we can beat BDS when we see the last game we played against them. Don't feel too much confident against us because we worked hard and we'll win hard. Be careful, our victory is gonna sting.
We're gonna beat everyone, we're gonna murder them.
Okay, and welcome back to our final game of the day, final game of this series as well. Will BDS take a 2-0 over VFB, or will VFB bite back? We talked a little bit about the comps, Sofjan, before we came into this one, but what's your game plan right now? If you're Vitality French Bees, how do you secure yourself into the mid game?
Well, let's have a look around here. I would say the main thing is keep track of Ender every step of the way, because you need to know, are they going to go for early invades? Are they going to go for early level 2 ganks? And that is going to be the moment where you decide, yes, being Kayn, I can power farm. Yes, I have to counter somewhere else. Or no, I cannot approach this area because it's just not going to be worth it. So I feel it's very important and very drawn towards the jungler and how things are going to fare in the top lane. I think it's going to be very focused there. But the other option is that they don't even go on top lane for BDS because they just trust C so much, and hence why Ali would be focusing there as well.
We'll have to see where they decide to put their eggs in their basket. And right now, I am interested by this though. Ali is going to be starting on the top side pathing down, but so is Ender. So I do wonder if Ender maybe goes for a level 2 gank like they did in the last game. Maybe looks for that early top to get that advantage. Or maybe they're just going to keep pathing now to the bot lane because it seems to be working pretty well for pretty much everyone at the moment in this meta.
Well, I think BGS would do really well by going for the gank there on the Renekton. But it's understandable if they decide to just go through the mid lane, try to get some pressure once they get level 3 there with Shah, or just rotating full out clear, as you mentioned, going back to the bot lane because they just have something that works just so well. The Misfortune deals quite a lot of damage, one of the ADCs with the biggest AD flat in the level 1, so it makes sense to go there, as it looks like it is the case. And considering that the Seraphine ends up pushing a little bit because when you hit the minions with your Q, it's just a big area you gotta control which minions you want to hit, or else it's going to be difficult to freeze the lane. It's very, very beneficial for Ender to go there, considering they're going to be inadvertently pushing the lane.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit bold coming out from VFB. Like, yes, your Kane is pathing bot, but we know what happened last time. You know, there was an early gank into the bot lane. Maybe they think because the Jarvan hasn't turned up yet, it's not going to happen, and they think that it's going to go to the top side. But I do wonder where Ender is going, because they're now starting to clear up again. So maybe they are actually planning to affect that top lane.
It's very, very possible, and to be fair, there's only so much that we can predict. So I would say at this point it makes more sense to be around here on the bottom side, try to get some deep wards and get control over the Drake. Ellie is around, which is something that Ender is aware of. Not actively, I don't think they have vision, but they are expecting it to happen.
Oh, the hook doesn't land. Kasane now getting aggressive, but Strataspanda going to go down either way, although saying that is alive for a little bit longer, will finally fall there. The bailout not doing the full job that they would have loved, but Ali will also be matched. So a 1-for-1 first blood, though, going to be going over to Ali. A bit of a better start for them, but losing their life does decrease their tempo a little bit, and obviously tempo, keeping Ender in check, is the name of their early game.
Really is, and I feel like it was a good start to go for the bottom lane, as I was saying, and just makes sense to go there because Ali wants to get that upper hand on the one lane that feels a little behind, because they know the Seraphine is not going to deal that much damage anyway. So that forces out a TP from Vicky. So it's one summoner spell that's going to be down alongside the Ignite for Kasane. Very good from both sides, I would say. It was a counter gank, very premeditated. And speaking of, Ender is once again here in no vision for Lilith. Has to flash away, but manages to escape the gank.
Manages to get away, as you said. Dips away. A nice little player. And obviously Lilith realistically was quite safe in their lane in the earlier stages. It took Eveluna to roam up on that Nautilus to really affect it. So I am expecting not too much action in those early stages, as Kasane now proposing the same situation from the first game, but the other way around, as we are going to see more members joining in, but no action going to lead to any kills. And now, obviously, the Logitech G Dragons have been up. We saw quite a lot of priority from that from BDS. Are we expecting similar now that the lanes are a little bit even on bot side, or is there a lot more contention from VFB?
I feel like they have changed completely how they're playing this game, J-Real, because look at how much more proactive they are, getting vision in deep jungle, getting invades, and anything along the lines of denying the enemy of growing, which is really, really great, because they know if BDS can stomp, then they just steamroll, then they don't stop. I agree with you, there's just such a good priority that was built by BGS to get this first Drake, but at the same time, it was one thing that I wanted to point out, which is not macro, but definitely micro from Lilith there in the mid lane. She knew that she was a little bit exposed, Nautilus was there, so Kasane could help, but she only had enough mana for one ability, and she waited patiently to use the Scatter of the Weak, and that's how she escaped, and that's why she felt she was comfortable to stay in the lane, even by not having the flash. At the same time, this is the first Drake that has to be conceded. They know it's not that important to try to go for it, so it's just prudent from Vitality French Beast to try to find some other things on other sides of the map.
Oh, and right now, C might be having the tides turned on them in the top side, as we are seeing Chubby Daddies get a bit aggressive with the Dominus, able to force away the Pantheon. And obviously low mana for C does make this trade even harder. They're going to have to back away, but there's the stun, the dash forward, the slice and dice. And the Cole and the Meek to finish that one off. So a nice start for Chubby Daddy. It's going to change the whole tempo of this game. A bit of a top diff. Obviously was felt last game. Maybe the other way around. So we'll see how that impacts as later stages go on. As right now, Ali in this bot lane once more.
Absolutely, and it's a good call because you know that you can force that TP coming out from C, and as long as you position yourself well, you can get that lane going exactly as you want it to be. Bottom lane, we have Ali being very proactive again, but one thing that I noticed from the last game is that sometimes Ali goes in these situations and there's not much that can happen. So I'm missing a better read on these ganks. Like for example, this. They know that was a clear on the ward. It's gonna have to force a flash away. She knew she was going to be forced to use the summoner spell, and even though that's the case, they decided to stay on the lane. So that's another cooldown that's going to be ticking instead of just having a better upper hand on your laning phase.
Yeah, the Cataclysm with the bullet time is not the nicest prospect to go against, and neither is a LeBlanc when they are feeling the fight. So Shah going to force Lilith back, will make them use the Unleashed power as well. So a key ultimate has been removed from the lane opponent of Shah, and it does beg the question of now, is Lilith quite vulnerable?
Yeah, not having both summoner spells, not in a good position to farm, but that's why we see Kasane going in there in the mid lane, getting that backup. But BDS, they know that's the case. So they go aggressive, they go for an invade, and they position themselves in a good place to be able to push people out of the lane. And if there is something happening like this fight right here, they can get there in time.
Ooh, rotations towards Herald. It is going to bring multiple members across for BDS. Obviously 4 for VFB already there. Is Kasane going to miss that hook? Not able to land that, and this could be troublesome. Hostile takeover going to be utilized, and it is going to catch Chubby Bunny. But can they then carry on? It's not going to be so. Shah going to be able to find 2 kills, and BDS pick up where they left off, finding those fights, finding those advantages, and they eke out a lead already.
They do, just barely shy of 1,000 gold, 1 Herald and 1 Drake, and still it's already making a big difference in regards to confidence from the team. We saw a little bit of a boost coming from Chubby Daddy in the top lane when there was that solo kill onto C. Good, but I feel like that could have been better because, oh my god, that was very close. Excuse me, they're coming back and they flash forward with a Cataclysm, and they're gonna end up going down by the support. What was that play?
That was wild. Like, you were out and it was gone. You didn't need to go back in, and they missed the flag and drag. They don't really get too much off of the Cataclysm autos, and then you also have Kasane there. It's just a little bit of an overextension from Ender, and that is going to build the gold back into VFB's favor. Right? We've seen a couple of plays now where BDS have overstepped and they've kind of lost their cool a little bit, and the advantage that they had already got just gets thrown away.
It does, and I just mentioned shy of what, 1 minute ago, that BDS had grown 1k gold ahead. They are dead even now. Like, it took 1 minute for Vitality French Piece to punish one of those mistakes that BDS shown in the last couple of minutes. So it makes sense to see Vitality French Breeze trying to go even more aggressive. At the same time, I want them to be careful when they do go for these opportunities. Is this going to be something that can result in you denying a Drake? Good prospect. Like something like this, going on C, neutralizing the Pantheon is a great idea.
Yeah, and it looks like they should be able to pick this one up pretty easily there. Pantheon trying to get away. See, trying to find some sort of redemptive way out. And Ali just going to take that kill. VFB are looking like a much better team. We talked about how they are better than what they showed in game 1, and they are really starting to put that to the testers here. On the bot side, Herald was utilized. TP, though, going to be used from Chubby Daddy to ward away any sort of BDS dive thoughts that they had.
And that's a good one because the Drake is on board. You know that is going to be a good moment for you to rotate to the bottom lane, and it makes sense. Big cooldowns deserve big objectives. Now, they're getting quite a lot of pressure in regards to vision into this Drake, into this river, but at the same time, there is the Scuttle Crab. They have to clear around the pink wards and try to just avert any sort of Ender coming in for a steal. And I think they have been doing it really well. Zoning has been great. Is it going to be enough? It is. And the Drake has been secured.
The triple, though, in the Cataclysm, the bullet time over the top, and now with the Pantheon raining in, it's just so much damage, and they've removed all of the members of the side of French Vitality French Bees, and now they are starting to run away. Kasane trying to get out. C not going to choose the right path, but a 3-for-2 overall. Yes, they lose the dragon, but they do regain a lot of control on the map.
I really like what Vitality French Bees brought to the table in this one. They got the zoning to a T, very nicely done, but BDS really came back strong. They noticed, okay, they used their cooldowns, we're going to be able to, after the zoning, okay, we concede the Drake, but we're going to get so many kills out of it. So at least you deny some of that advantage, because not having people growing and then coming back to lane with the Drake buff and even farming more, pushing out lanes, definitely good for BDS. So I think it's a great scenario for them, as the game still continues to be 6-6 in kills, 21,000 gold, dead even for both sides, and no towers taken thus far. Just shy of a minute away from Platings getting knocked down.
Yeah, and I think it's really good. Obviously, the Logitech G Dragon going over to Vitality French Bees. They've been able to get a lot more into this game, and they've been able to hold their own, and they're keeping it consistent. And we've already got the Kayn into Rust form. So, with that being said, it does look a lot more popular for them. It looks like a much better game where they have a lot more potential to make it theirs, but they have to be consistent. They cannot be giving over some of these free fights, some of these free kills that BDS are quite happily going to take up.
I'm interested to see how this Syndra plus Seraphine is going to fare in the mid game, because they have completed Leandri, so there's going to be quite a lot of damage. Oh, Cataclysm on the support and the bullet time as well. Kasani's still standing, not for much longer. Ellie, don't do it. Ellie, please.
Thinking about it. They're thinking about it, but they're
thinking about it.
It's like they were there. They were like, "Oh, do I go? Yeah. Do I go for this play? Do I try and make it?
Do I? It was tempting."
But the smart thing is not to go for it, right? They didn't need to go for it. It's an over-aggress. And I will say, VFB, they've managed to get themselves in a nice position. We've said it a couple of times now. They are finding much more success, and this is kind of how they could do it. They could find a couple picks here. Stratus Panda going to get caught out. Will be rooted
Great job.
Umbral Trespass is going to be there, but have they gone a bit deep here? It is going to be Chubby Daddy that's in trouble. Will be picked up, and now Ali in the wrong base. So I don't know how she's going to make her way out of this one, but I'm excited to find out. Gets the knock up onto Sashi, but the help is arriving, and unless this Kayn can pick up the Jarvan quickly, I don't know how they're going to do this.
Whoa! That was massive. I loved it.
But the race is not over just yet. There's still a lot more members to contend with. C is also there, and it will finally fall. The time was stalled out for a while, but has the team been able to gain anything from that?
Not really. That's very unfortunate. Not really. Some push coming out from Syndra in the bot lane. The Herald has just spawned, so not enough time for them to do it beforehand. Top lane wasn't pushing either. Man, but did it feel smooth? That Hextech gate, if they had survived after all, God, that would have been a highlight and a half.
That would have been a clip, right? You know, we start the show and they roll through the clips. That would have had to go in there, right? The Great Escape. Someone make it onto Twitter. Who knows? Put like them old school detective themes around it as well.
That's the one. Sneaky, smooth criminal.
Oh yes, I like that. I like that a lot. But what I also like is that VFB haven't given over a massive lead, right? This is much stronger for them. We talked about it on the desk with 4x4. We said this team is very capable of picking up a win here. They are a good team. They can make plays, and we're starting to see that come to the light of day. But we do know BDS, though. They like a sneaky trap, and we're going to see another one. Cataclysm with the damage from C is going to lead to Lilith's death.
Yeah. And unfortunately for Vitality French Bees, they just feel a little slow in those plays. So we saw them going in the mid lane like they're doing here now. We're going to see Shah falling very low on health. I think, to be fair, Shah wouldn't die anyway.
Oh.
Considering the rest of the team is taking down this Herald. Man, that is massive. And that's the point I was going to make, JVL. BDS is just converting the gold better, converting the objectives better. So when you go in mid lane, take one kill, who was it? On Stratospender, you take one kill. Okay, what did you get from it? Platings, not available. Drake, not on board. Herald, hadn't spawned. So at the end of the day, BDS is just making much better use of it.
Yeah, they get that one kill in the top, they take 2 towers, as you said, and they can't keep getting away with it. We'll find out if they do, because another fight has come just before the Logitech Drake, and in comes the Pantheon. Grand Skyfall going to bring them in, and there's been no rebuttal because they were not ready for this fight. Vitality French Bees were not grouped up, they weren't able to unify and take on BDS, and they're going to lose control of the Dragon, and it looks like the Logitech G Drake will be secured by BDS.
Yeah. Hextech Drake taken by BDS very easily. We have Ellie around, but I don't think... Are they going to try to go for something? The sweeper's on. We'll see if that's going to be the case. They don't go for it. But to be fair, considering... Are we okay?
Yeah, we're all good. I think we might be going to back to cams. I think there might be a pause inbound or something. But before the pause, though, C able to pick up a tower. The Logitech G Drake was picked up as well. And it's all in all, it's a pretty good moment for BDS as we do finally get the pause that we were slightly expecting.
I was wondering. I was like, wait, that's going to be a pause. Okay, but where is it? Did I misunderstand it? Am I okay? Oh, man.
I don't know.
All right,
Either
so
way.
we did skip it. Yeah, we skipped the pause, and we're back into the game. Yeah. We're good to go, good to go. But
okay, well, back
all of
into
a sudden...
this game.
Yeah. And
as we
with all the
continue,
things that
obviously-
BDS has been doing... Oh, yes!
No, go on.
I was just going to say that with all the things that BGS has been doing, the lead is now 4K again.
It is indeed, but they may be able to shrink this one a bit. VFB have found a pretty nice fight in the jungle here, but they're not going to be able to catch Shah. She gets away, but they may take Ender with them, although low HP on Lilith could be an easy trade around as Shah is hunting in the shadows. Umbral Trespass, though, going to keep Kane on top of her, but will it be enough? Ali doesn't get the knock up, and it's going to be taken down by the perfect execution, but the Encore catches out on top of Stratus Panda, but is it going to be enough? There's the bullet time,
What?
shredding through 2. And it's a turnaround for BDS once again.
Oh, man. I am pretty sure the Stratus Panda was like, wait, I'm not... They were holding the R button. They were like, I'm not gonna. If I die, I don't want to lose my ulti. I don't want to. And then she survives. Ultis, gets the pact on her, revives, gets the kill. Man, massive fight for BDS. And unfortunately, we had again Ellie going into the backline, as we're going to see Chubby Daddy going here once again. Unfortunately, Pantheon is going to take down Lilith, and Evaluna is going to be next. So at least a 1-for-1. Excuse me. No, it's like the 2-for-1. Even though Chubby Daddy has gone ahead this game, it's still not connecting.
And we got to have a look at, like, oh, hold on one sec, actually, because there might be more fighting here. I thought that it was GG over, but BDS looking like they want to just scrap once more. But, okay, they are going to finally separate. And we got to take stock of, right, what we talked about at the start. We said, okay, Renekton should try and get ahead. Whoever gets the lead in the top lane will have a lot of potential. They want to scale out for the Kayn to come into the game. They want to utilize that bot lane to set up those team fights. And some of those things have been done. Oh, damn, Ender just going to pick up that kill. Overstep coming in from Kazain. But it's a sentiment where they have been able to slow the game down a lot, but I think it all comes down to the fine point, which you made a little bit earlier, that every time they get kills, they don't necessarily convert it, whereas when BDS get kills, they change it into more, like we see, 1 kill, maybe 2 now, because Shara is going to be able to pick up Vicky, but they're going to turn this into a Baron.
Oh, again, those 2 kills felt very rude. This one now from Shah, and the other one, okay, Ellie at least in a position to try to steal something. We'll see if there's going to be any sort of potential. Pantheon coming in with ulti.
I don't think it's possible. Status for Shah, stun coming in from the Pantheon. C looking to pick this one up. Spear going to go wide though, so it is going to be a life saved for Ali, but the Baron is going to be taken down, right? BDS will secure the objective. They push their gold lead even further ahead, now 8k up, and they should now be able to start closing down on these towers.
It just suddenly doubled, right? A couple of minutes ago, we were saying that it increased to 4 from 1k to 4k, now 8k. That is massive, and it's all because of that conversion you just mentioned. Because when you actually have things transforming into something useful, tower takedowns, objectives, or pressure in the jungle to just neutralize people, then it is worth it, and that's what BDS has been doing. Unfortunately, the French bees haven't really been able to accomplish exactly that. And one thing that I wanted to point out about the fights just before, we saw Sha deleting Vicky. Maybe in a little bit. Go on.
Well, I don't know. This could be a little bit of a slow play. This actually is going to be able to get out bullet time over the top, but no one is going to fall just yet. And the Renekton is causing problems and will finally be removed. The grouping of BDS just a little bit too strong, and they do force VFB whack once more because the dragon is spawning. Logitech G Drake going to be up, but will BDS go straight for it? It almost looks like they kind of want to utilize their Baron and get more towers.
I would agree with that. I think that's a better choice. C might be trying to go on this one. Recall successful. Basically, my point was we saw Kasani, the big frontline and tanky, getting deleted. This might be another chance where this happens again. Anchor is not enough. Oh,
goodbye.
Man.
That's one. That's two. The tower is still standing. It's putting in quite a bit of work as Ali going to go aggressive onto Stratus Panda. Might be able to take another one back, and that's a huge shutdown, actually. 700 gold into Ali's pocket. But what for? You know what I mean? What is the gain that you get here? Because right now it seems all BDS, even though they lose multiple members, they still take another tower. They take a tower in bot lane as well, and the gold just keeps going up.
It does. They have it open in the bottom lane. Everything is just setting them up for the next Drake, getting into Soul Point. And if I may, players, thank you. What I wanted to say in that play, taking down Kasane 2 plays ago that I've been trying to say, is that the preemptive cataclysm from Ender to prevent the anchor from getting Kasane away, grappling into a wall and escaping, that was beautiful to me. That was very well thought, because usually you don't do Cataclysm or a big ulti like that on the support. You would leave the bullet time because the bullet time is going to deal damage. But no, you end up getting just the right time for the anchor to be stopped by your Cataclysm. Very well done.
Oh. Maybe a bit of revenge. Ali going aggressive onto Shah. The status, though, every single time stops this from connecting. The dodge as well. The Pantheon coming in too. C going to ward away Ali, who is causing a little bit of trouble for the team, but now with no humble trespass. Oh my days. Stratus Panda just unleashing the bullets, and it's goodbye to the Kane.
Lethality misfortune, y'all. Lethality misfortune. Just a monster on the Rift. 6, 3, and 11. But Vitality French Beast still trying, still looking for it.
It's so scrappy. They just keep fighting, but right now, bullet time is going to be cancelled. The Cataclysm does hold a few members, but they're going to get straight on Stratus Panda. Yes, we do have the bailout, but it's not going to lead to her being saved. But will the others fall? The Renekton just about lives. Chubby Daddy with a slice of health, not going to go down. And all in all, VFB taking a 1-for-1, but I'm not gonna lie, it comes back to the question every time, Sochan. What do they gain from it? A kill goes the way of each side, but it still feels like BDS are the ones that are going to be proactive as they go aggressive once again, and Ali will be taken out, and surely now they're going to get some towers.
That was so much damage, it felt like an Elder Drake buff. Like, for real, that one kill there felt illegal. And we're gonna try to get something on Evoluna, but Chubby Daddy, man, you're getting destroyed as well. Things are so tough for Vitality. Again, 1k, 4k, 8k, now 10k gold behind.
Almost 11. The snowball is unreal.
Almost 11, you're right, yeah.
3 minutes away from the Hextech Drake, and it just feels like it's all at BDS's tempo, right? Every time VFB find a fight, BDS pretty much equalize or come out on top, and it just feels like even when VFB have had that slight advantage where they've picked up the win, they've just not been able to convert it. And I want to ask you something, what is the difference that's holding them back? Is it that they are not setting up for these fights, or is it that BDS are the ones leading the fights, or why can VFB not turn these into more?
It's all about the timing, J-Real. It really is, because if you recognize how long you're going to take trying to get something down, trying to get a kill, then you calculate that with the next Drake, with the next Baron, with the next Herald. And I feel like BDS have been doing that much safer. And it just works out better because they know the moment to go in, how long it's going to take for those waves to push, and it's just superior, unfortunately, getting them so ahead on the 2 games that we've had on the stream.
BDS showing that they are one of the best teams, right? They are a really strong unit. They are very good, and I'm surprised that they haven't picked up more games today, but still showing off the prowess and just the level that Pathfinders has to offer, really. As right now, kind of hovering. Baron going to be up in 10 seconds. You could think the BDS will go straight for it. Yes, C is in the bot lane, but does have TP, does also have the Grand Skyfall.
So, as I said, it's the timing. They know where to position, but we're going to try to position well. Ender manages to escape with a flagging drag, and Ellie once again can't reach the backline.
Yeah, caught out a little bit, but able to survive. Quite far ahead is Ender, and it does look like the pings are finally coming down. I think they will start moving over to the Baron. I think realistically it's going to be very hard for VFB to challenge them. Obviously the gold lead being at about 10k isn't going to be helping in any which way, but Ali trying to maybe get a sneak here, going around the back. He's going to be noticed due to the fact that they use that scrying orb. But now TP's coming in. That's going to be C onto the top side. It looks like they're going to flip for this Baron. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this. I would say just stop doing it and take this fight. But 3,000 damage down. Ali now hovering around the pit as C engages. Aggressive. Going to be the push. Bullet time over the top.
Oh, nice.
Stop from Ali. But in the backline, Stratus Panda in big trouble. But on the flip side, we are seeing Sashi moving forward. All in all, it is all red. And Vitality for HPs are falling. They have 2 left alive. But can they save this fight? Vicky down, and then falls Lilith. All 5 removed. Ace as BDS walk towards the base.
Walk towards the win. And to be fair, I need to talk about how clever and how that was my favorite play from Ellie. I feel like she waited perfectly for the bullet time coming from Stratus Panda, got the knock up. I was just, where was that a couple of minutes ago? You know, it felt like things were too scrambled and BDS was doing everything they could to deny you from growing on their mistakes. So, man, BDS, congratulations, of course, for getting the 2-0 here, but we are going to miss you tomorrow. We really will. It's just the fact that you guys, and as you said, J-Real, Pathfinders is just top tier, man. Top tier. And with a group as competitive as this one was, whew,